Welcome to the Chaos News Desk. We have had multiple player transactions over the last 24 hours. I will now bring you up to date on everything that has happened. First up, the Skull Bandits trade Carson Palmer for LaDainian Tomlinson. The Bandits had no running game and the 22s had no QB. This was a trade that had to happen, although the 22s still have no QBs and LT will sit on Craig's bench. So basically, a giant waste of everybody's time. Next, we have the second trade and this one was a blockbuster. Dark Helmet took a close look at the league rules and realized he could not start two QBs at the same time. So he sent Matt Schwab to the Black Ghostbusters in return for Roddy White, Donovan McNabb and Greg Olsen. He also threw in low-rent Robinson to save him the trouble of having to drop him later in the day. Dan received quite a haul for his backup while Chris finally gets a starting QB that throws better than Joe Pasarchek. Rumor had it that earlier in the day, Dan had offered Matt Schaub to Rocky in exchange for Brandon Marshall. But much like when he is with his chick, Rocky couldn't pull the trigger. And seeing that Ray was unwilling to part with a backup tight end, he made the trade with Chris. But the dealing didn't end there. As Tomlinson reported to Craig's team for his physical, team doctors then realized that he was 106 years old. Luckily Boomer came calling and offered Marcus Colston and Ronnie Brown for Wes Welker, his knee brace and Beanie Wells. It seems that Boomer has finally realized he cannot win with all Saints players. When asked if he was done dealing, he said hell no. He also plans on trading Drew Brees to Dan for Tom Brady, Miles Austin to Chris for Randy Moss, Reggie Bush to Glenn for Fred Taylor, and the Saints defense to Jesse for the Pats defense. Amazing. That was it for the trades, but the good times were just starting to roll. The Skull Bandits were the big story. After Ryan Grant went out with a season-ending ankle injury, Craig swooped in and grabbed Brandon Jackson, Grant's replacement. Coupled with his earlier trades, Craig turned over 25% of his roster in one day. I hate to see what will happen if he loses week 2. Welcome to the 2010 season, Mr. Steinbrenner. Boomer also kept busy by picking up Mark Clayton. I thought this was an awesome addition until I realized it wasn't 1984 and this isn't the Mark Clayton that had Dan Marino throwing to him. Not to be outdone, Rocky grabbed Cleveland running back Peyton Hillis. If you are wondering if he is any good, I can explain it in one word. He's white. Really? Has there been a good white running back since Larry Zonka? And that was back in '73. Chris capped off a busy evening by snagging tight end Tony Moeaki just because he saw him catch a pass on national TV on Monday night. One of his players actually catching a pass? Now that is a novelty. Finally, Glenn woke up and decided to pick up a couple of corpses. He dropped washed-up former New England running back Lawrence Maroney and replaced him with current washed-up New England running back Fred Taylor. I guess Sam Cunningham wasn't available. Little-known true fact. Did you know Sam Cunningham was Randall Cunningham's older brother? Look it up. We have received no confirmation if either is related to Richie or Joni. Glenn also dropped unhealthy QB, stiff Sam Bradford, and picked up healthy QB, stiff Derek Anderson. It is rumored that Anderson is keeping the position warm for Neil Lomax, and that wraps up the reorg for this week. Thanks for watching.